Now, I know I say this in every video, but how you do one thing is how you do everything. So if you pick questionable partners to enter into a relationship with, you will likely pick questionable trades to enter into the stock market with. It's just that simple. And so this entire video focuses on helping you pick great relationship partners and great trades by doing one simple thing, by doing your homework. Listen, nothing will help you avoid heartbreak, being broke, and getting burned when it comes to love and trading like doing your homework. Doing your due diligence before you pick a partner or a trade is a must. And because I'm your girl, I'm going to tell you exactly how and what kind of homework you need to do so you can win in trading and in relationships. Listen, I want your relationships to flourish just as much as I want your bank account to flourish. So I'm going to give you the top 4 homework tips you need to do before you take a trade or pick a partner. But first, if you're new here, I'm Vanetta, and you are watching Faith, Love, and Trading, where I talk about the intersections of financial prosperity and personal growth, especially as it relates to trading. You see, trading is 10% technical and 90% psychological, which means securing the bag is directly related to how secure you are mentally and emotionally. So if you are interested in growing your net worth and your self-worth, you found the right channel. Because here I talk about how your psychology, your psyche, and your mindset are the real secret sauce to financial freedom and personal growth. So go ahead and hit the subscribe button and let's stay connected. Now, let's jump back into how to do your homework so you can be successful in picking a good partner and picking a good trade. Now, when it comes to picking a great potential partner or picking a great trade, you can't just go on your instincts or your gut feelings to make these decisions, because sometimes, especially in trading and relationships, we can want something so badly that our desired outcome influences how we move and the decisions that we make. And this means if you are so set on a specific outcome, you can manipulate yourself into making choices based on what you want rather than what's actually available to you. For example, let's say you meet a potential mate and they appear very, very nice and sincere, like most people do during the first few times you encounter them. But if you don't look beyond the presentation, you may focus solely on what you like instead of looking for any possible red flags. And it is the same in trading. Let's say you hear everyone talking about a stock and how it's moving in a certain direction, and all the buzz around the stock makes you confident that it's going to do exactly what you expect it to do, but you don't do any analysis of your own to verify. You just jump into the trade because of your hunch or because of the buzz or because of what others have said, and you get burned because you trusted others but you didn't verify. So if you want to be successful in picking a good partner and a good trade, you can't take shorts, or you can't just solely rely on your gut feelings. Don't leave something as important as love and money up to chance. You must study to show yourself approved, which is what the Bible says. And doing homework is studying to show yourself approved when it comes to love and trading. Now, what does doing your homework for picking a good trade and picking a good partner really entail? I'm glad you asked. I have 4 quick homework tips for picking a partner and a trade, and if you apply them when you're making these 2 important decisions, they will save you from a broken heart and a busted brokerage account. Now, the first homework tip you must do is to look for vulnerabilities. Now, what this means in terms of picking a partner is being intentional about looking for signs that your potential partner is okay being vulnerable. Are they open to sharing their hearts, their dreams, their goals, their likes, their dislikes with you? Or are they closed off and unwilling to really let you in? Trust me, you will feel alone in a relationship with a person who has issues letting you in. Authentic connection is everything in a relationship, and you can only have authentic connection with someone who is okay with being vulnerable, and if they are not for you. Now, as for looking for vulnerabilities when it comes to picking a good trade, one important thing to look for is where the trade is most vulnerable. One way to do this is by making sure your zones are strong. Strong zones tell you when you should get in and get out of a trade. Strong zones also show you when you may experience resistance so you can be prepared to exit if needed. And understanding where your trade is vulnerable and being prepared is doing the work that keeps you from getting burned. Listen, when you understand the vulnerabilities in a trade or in a relationship, it means you can protect yourself, and understanding this prior to exposing yourself to the risk of a broken heart or a busted brokerage account is key. So do the homework of looking for vulnerabilities before you pick a partner or a trade. Now, the second homework tip you should do before you decide on going all in with a partner or a trade is to check your emotions. Listen, emotions like greed and anxiety and impatience and desperation and fear, just to name a few, can significantly impact your ability to make wise decisions that benefit you when it comes to relationships and trading. So if you are entertaining either entering a relationship with a potential partner or a trade, I suggest you first check to see what, if any, emotions are driving your decision, because when you make emotional decisions, they don't always pan out for our good. Now, let me just say that yes, I totally believe wholeheartedly in paying attention to our intuition and our instincts, which are a part of our emotional makeup and the internal wisdom that God gave us, especially women. But we should never make important decisions about trading and relationships purely based on our emotions or what we feel. Listen, I have entered a trade based on my feelings, and I've entered a relationship purely based on feelings, and in both cases, the outcome was not what I really wanted. Emotions and feelings can be fickle sometimes, and that's why it's always a great idea to base any important decision using other measurable metrics too. Use your head and your heart when it comes to important decisions, and never leave it up to emotions and feelings alone. Check your emotions to see if your decisions are greed-based or fear-based or made out of desperation, and do this before you get into a trade or relationship when it can be most helpful. Now, the third homework tip you should consider before you enter a trade or a relationship is to weigh the risk to reward. I use at least a 3-to-1 risk to reward ratio. And this means that I only take trades where the likelihood of my success with the trade outweighs the likelihood of the trade being unsuccessful. So before I take any trade, I do the calculations to see if it at least meets my 3-to-1 ratio. And if it's a 5-to-1 or 7-to-1, even better. The goal is to make sure that I'm taking a trade that has a greater potential to reward me and work in my favor. Now, in relationships, a risk to reward ratio might look like making a list of pros and cons of your potential relationship partner and weighing them. Listen, there is no perfect partner out here. All of us come with pros and cons. But our job, however, is to make sure the pros outweigh the cons. So if the person you are considering has a list of positives that meet whatever standard you have set for yourself, but they also have a few negatives that you don't really care for, weigh the negative against the positive to see if the potential partner is worth you taking a chance on them. Now, the third tip, weighing the risk to reward ratio, ties right into the final homework tip I have for you, and that is having a clear deal breaking exit strategy. Having a clear deal breaking exit strategy is the fourth homework tip that you need to consider. It is important to have this deal breaking exit strategy when you enter a trade or a relationship. Now, when it comes to relationships, deal breakers are the non-negotiable line crossing behaviors that should automatically end the relationship once you enter. And it is important to know your deal breakers prior to entering the relationship. And you don't want to waver when it comes to your deal breakers. Draw a line in the sand and see it as a boundary that you won't allow others to cross, and a boundary that you won't allow yourself to cross. This is for your own protection, trust me. Now, when it comes to trading, I can't stress enough to you how important it is to have a clear deal-breaking exit strategy. In trading, it's called a stop loss in some cases, and in others, it's you knowing where your limit is for the amount of money you can lose in one trade and sticking to it. Now, in relationships and trading, there is a temptation to stay beyond your exit. And this is where our emotions come into play. Sometimes we can want a specific outcome so badly that we just hope and believe that things can turn around and turn in our favor, but that's rarely the case. When it comes to love and money, you have to protect your heart and your wallet. And setting a clear boundary and having a clear deal-breaking strategy is the best protection that you can give yourself. So, if you do your homework, look for vulnerabilities, check your emotions, weigh your risk to reward ratio, and have a clear deal-breaking exit strategy before you pick a potential partner or a trade to enter, you will be doing yourself a world of good. Now, let me know in the comments if these tips were helpful. Also, let me know where you are in terms of your trading journey and your journey to find the perfect potential partner for you. Are you thinking about getting into trading? Are you new? Are you a veteran trader? Are you looking for a potential partner, or do you desire even to be in a relationship? I want to hear all about it. So leave me a comment below, and I will see you next time on Faith, Love, and Trading.